And if we confuse the two, the experience and the true self, awareness, eternal infinite awareness, that's when we get our perceptions of everything scrambled. I'm not David Icke. This is my experience. It's a name for my experience. I'm infinite awareness having the experience. And what you were saying earlier, Rich, a few minutes ago about this whole headset virtual reality world, and this goes into the whole transhumanist agenda too. What is that doing? Your infinite awareness having the experience. The program, the perception program, is locking your perceptions into the five senses. You're now one step from the consciousness that you are in terms of your self-awareness, self-identity, and influence of that expanded awareness. Then because we are in a virtual reality simulation, the evidence for this is becoming overwhelming now.
So it's like a dream within a dream then, is it?
Yeah. Now, when you go to the virtual reality world that you're talking about, you're going into a virtual reality world within a virtual reality world. Now you're two steps back from the infinite awareness that you are. Then you get technology and chips, not least nanochips, in the body and in the brain, which connects you to a artificial intelligence cloud. They're openly talking about this now. And that connects you to the cloud. Now you are three steps away from the awareness that you are. Because now that five sense level of you, which should be connected to your awareness beyond the program, beyond this reality, that's now connected technologically to an artificial intelligence cloud, right? They're creating an artificial reality within an artificial reality, which is distancing us in terms of influence. Well, doesn't have to if you fall for it. Our five sense conscious mind from the level of true eternal self beyond the program. This is what's happening. And of course, we're a long way from Donald Trump. And he's a sideshow in all this, really, in terms of what's actually happening, whether he's in or whether Clinton's in.
You see these headsets, David, what they've done is they've made them incredibly affordable. They're really affordable. I think the one I picked up, I think they were selling it for 100 quid. They brought it down to 35 quid. And because so many children were using these around us over the Christmas, I said, and I've never been interested in gaming. I've never been interested in that sort of technology. I'm going to pick up one of these and I'm going to have a look at it and see what it does. You actually connect the phone to the front of it. The phone goes into the front of it, and then bang, then you're in a world. You're on a roller coaster, or you're in a world, and that's where my interest is in it. I certainly don't want to get it for entertainment or to be using it, but I'm going to maybe do a video or do something on it when I do have a look at it. But it never occurred to me what you just said there, and I'm not kissing your arse. That never occurred to me what you said there about you being taken back level by level away from what you really are.
Well, I've got a report in front of me here. The transhuman generation. 1 in 5 teenage boys, this is in America, have their best adventures from a survey on video games. So you look at all these kids constantly on video games, which are becoming more and more sophisticated and more like the reality, closer and closer to the reality that we are experiencing in the simulation. And they are in a simulation within a simulation. Where the hell is consciousness beyond the program now?
I've read, David, it was in an article 2 or 3 months ago. I wish I'd saved it. It was online. And it was an expert in these games who doesn't work in the gaming industry anymore. I think you've said this. I know you went into this in Phantom Self. Children they don't want to come out of it. Once they're in it, and they're in this wonderful world which, is inside this headset, they increasingly don't want to come out of it. So they're going to want to be in it all the time.
Yeah, because it's addictive. They're part of it. Part of what it gives out is an electromagnetic field that attaches itself to the player, and it's part of the attachment, the indictive attachment. I mean, they even have a name for it now: digital heroin and digital cocaine. And you see I mean, you look at the smartphones, people can't put them down because they're addictive. Because, this is this road, this totalitarian step-by-step tiptoe to the transhumanist generation, where what we know as human will be no more if we stand for it. Because what will be doing our thinking is this artificial intelligence, which will be connected to people via this transhumanist nano technology. And people like Ray Kurzweil, an executive at the monster that is Google, she's so massively involved in this transhumanist agenda, in league with one of the most sinister organizations on earth, and think of the competition, DARPA, the technological development arm of the Pentagon. They are two of the major drivers. DARPA, the major driver, but very close with them and completely associated and attached with them, is Google, in pushing this transhumanist agenda. And Ray Kurzweil, I call him the spokesperson for Frankenstein. He is openly talking now about the fact that by 2030, people will be attached to the cloud via technology, and that as time passes, less and less of the human will remain, and eventually there will be a complete, the human thought will come completely from the cloud. And the reason they're open about it is because they're trying to sell it as us becoming superhuman. What they don't tell you, and people like Kurzweil will well know, is it's to make us subhuman. It's to make us merely computer terminals on this artificial intelligence internet. And there again, Ray Kurzweil, Zionist. And given we've talked about this, it's worth making this point. Zionism, at its core, is a secret society created and controlled by the House of Rothschild and related networks. The public face of it is a political philosophy of Zionism that believes in certain things. As many people have said, you don't have to be Jewish to be Zionist. You don't. It's a political philosophy. And many people who are Jewish, of course, are not only not Zionists, they're vehemently anti-Zionist. Because just because you're Jewish doesn't mean you're Zionist.
Of course.
And when you, in fact, there are organizations, Jewish organizations, that are vehemently anti-Zionism and what it's doing, and what they're doing to what it's doing to the Palestinians, because it's at its core a secret society, but in its public face, it's a political philosophy. That's all it is. And when you look at the fact that there are the Jewish population of America is 2%, about 2%. Many of that 2% will not be Zionists. The great majority of that 2% who support Israel will not in any way be involved in any manipulation. And then you look at what's left, a tiny part of that 2%. And then you look at how many of that tiny part of that 2% are in positions of power. This is not an accident. And if people want to walk away and say, oh, well, I better not say this because they'll call me racist. Well, they'll have to call me racist because I'm interested in the truth, not bollocks.